What is a vegan beauty brand doing selling eggs in Manhattan? And why is water going viral this week? We've got security breaches, brand meltdowns, and some very questionable business decisions. So grab your coffee, it's time to break down trending stories and cool campaigns from around the marketing and advertising world so that you're always the sharpest marketer in the room. Happy Friday, Carnies, and welcome to the Daily Carnage Show. I'm Shannon, I'm a digital marketing strategist at Carney, and I'm your host, so let's get into it. Well, it was a wild week for national security and encrypted messaging. The Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, revealed in a story on Monday that he had been mistakenly added to a group chat along with President Trump's cabinet members about a military strike on Yemen. And all of this took place on Signal, a private messaging app which is secure but admittedly not a classified channel for classified conversations. And so Signal found itself thrust into the news cycle this week alongside keywords like security breach, which is sort of a brand nightmare. So naturally, Signal's president, Meredith Whittaker, is on the defensive, and she's doubling down, calling Signal the gold standard in private communications. She argues that unlike WhatsApp, Signal collects almost no metadata, making it a safer alternative. And users do seem to agree with that, with downloads jumping 16% this quarter alone. And the key takeaway here is that if you are planning any major military operations, you probably shouldn't use a channel that is commercially available for download from the App Store. Sesame Workshop, the nonprofit behind Sesame Street, has just announced that it's cutting 20% of its workforce to cover a projected $40 million shortfall next year. Can you tell me how to get the hell out of here? This is primarily because HBO's streaming service Max is pulling the plug on Sesame Street in 2026. And for years, HBO has been a financial lifeline for Sesame Street, paying up to $35 million for early access to new episodes. But now Max says that kids programming just isn't a priority anymore. And data from Nielsen suggests that today's toddlers are more interested in Bluey or Peppa Pig or whatever hypnotic slop comes up on your YouTube feed. By the way, why is every toddler a super user of YouTube? At this point, it feels like YouTube should just be hiring them to test UX. So what is next for our beloved Sesame Street? Well, the show's creators are in talks with Netflix and YouTube and Amazon to find a new home. And in a bid to win new audiences, season 56, yes, season 56, is set to start filming next month and is getting a little bit of a refresh. Sesame Street is doing away with the magazine-style format and leaning more into humor, music, and animation. And this is excellent news because if Elmo goes away, the internet will have a collective mental health crisis. Okay, well, arguably that is already happening, but it would be worse. Okay, our next story is about eggs. And I know I've been talking a lot about eggs this season, but I told you it was the year of the egg, and the year isn't over. You scream, I scream, we're all screaming because egg prices are through the roof thanks to bird flu. And some local New York delis have even started selling Lucy's, which are just 3 eggs in a plastic bag for $2.99. This is perfect because you can take that right back out on the street and barter for weapons and goods and medical procedures. Anyway, enter The Ordinary. Yeah, the budget-friendly vegan skincare line. Because over the weekend, The Ordinary started selling eggs in their stores. Real eggs. Why? Because New Yorkers needed them. And for 2 days, you could go to the Ordinary store in Manhattan and pick up a carton of eggs for cheaper than Trader Joe's. Most people thought this was a clever marketing move, but not everyone. You know, people started pointing out that The Ordinary is technically a vegan, cruelty-free beauty brand. So what's going on here? Why are we selling eggs? Which is why it kind of seems like they were trolling us. After all, they did tag MSCHF, the same company that brought us those viral big red clown boots. At any rate, The Ordinary did get their viral moment out of this. And hey, I don't give out investment advice on this podcast, but I will tell you, eggs going viral seems at least a little bit related to the return of Recession pop. I personally will never forget in 2008 listening to Lady Gaga's Poker Face from my product red iPod Nano, not being able to get a job at the Taco Bell or the movie theater because all the adults needed those jobs to keep their mortgages. It was a really crazy time. Hey, don't worry. Lady Gaga got us through 2008, so just let her cook. Excess leading to downfall is a perfect segue for this story about Madwell. So Madwell is an indie ad agency that once punched well above its weight. It was founded in 2010 by Chris Soika and David Eisenman. And the agency built a reputation for creative work with big brands, and employees actually loved the culture at this agency. It was creative, it was innovative, it was full of exciting projects, but things sort of devolved. So the trouble seems to start around 2023 when Soyka's leadership begins to shift. Multiple sources in Adweek's new article describe his behavior as increasingly erratic. He's going on these massive spending sprees. There's private jets, luxury hotels, all paid for with the company's funds. And former employees remember Soyka making manic phone calls at 3 a.m. No one knew whether or not he was going to show up any given workday. Soyka eventually takes full control of Madwell. And in the midst of all this drama, payroll for Madwell's employees starts to be delayed. People aren't getting paid. All the while, Soyka is still acting erratically. He charters a $60,000 jet to fly to a brand party, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. In October of last year, he spends over $1 million on a launch party with luxury gifts, of course, private jet charters, and even a performance by Wiz Khalifa. And reminder, at this point, employees are still waiting on paychecks. Come on, publish the Slack chat. Obviously, Madwell is suffering financially, and Soyka just continues to spiral out of control, with reports of him shouting at employees, trying to flip tables. And he says he's just focusing on his, quote, dream projects instead of focusing on bringing in client money. So, of course, people start to get legal help, trying to recover some of their unpaid wages. And then Soyka starts sending these cryptic messages to his former co-founder Eisenman, and I can't make this up. He releases a series of diss tracks under the name Claw Boy. As of now, Madwell's future is uncertain. There are still people that haven't gotten paid, and now everybody is watching. So I will let you know when Netflix buys the documentary rights to this story, because it's giving Fyre Fest. Ugh, it's so cartoonishly delicious that the word mad is in the name of the agency, Everything is so on the nose these days. Moving on. Saratoga Spring Water, the luxury water brand known for its blue glass bottles, is suddenly the star of an unlikely trend. So here's what happened. TikTok user Ashton Hall posts a video of his morning routine. 3:52 a.m., remove mouth tape. 3:53 a.m., brush teeth, but rinse with a glass of Saratoga Spring Water. At 4 a.m., take your Saratoga Spring Water out onto your luxurious balcony to do some pre-dawn push-ups. Drink your Saratoga Spring Water. Do some reading, write in your journal. Drink your Saratoga Spring Water. 5:46, and this is important, pour an entire bottle of Saratoga Spring Water in a bowl over ice and dunk your face in it. Respectfully, no. Then take your Saratoga Spring Water to the gym. Then take your Saratoga Spring Water to the pool. And at this point, you've been so busy, you should have a post-workout snack. Why not a banana? Okay, 8:45 a.m., take that banana peel and rub that banana peel all over your face. And apparently this part should take about 10 minutes, because at 8:55, he rinses. Finally, he sits down at his computer to work, and at 9:06, his assistant brings him another bowl of Saratoga Spring Water over ice to dunk his face. 6 minutes later, Zoom call. And then afterward, his assistant hands him a bottle of, you guessed it, Saratoga Spring Water. And I don't have to explain to you why this video has gone viral. It's gotten nearly 100 million views, and it's inspired a lot of memes and jokes across the social media. And the parent company behind Saratoga Spring Water, Primo Brands, has seen its stock jump nearly 3% after the video took off. And yes, this has been a great moment for Saratoga Spring Water. But has anyone heard from Big Banana? They've been real quiet since this video dropped. Anyway, who knew water could make such a viral splash? So sorry. Okay, so we all know about influencer trips. They peaked in popularity about 10 years ago with luxury getaways to Bora Bora and Dubai. But in recent years, the appetite for watching influencers experience luxurious vacations has admittedly dwindled, with some brands even experiencing some backlash after influencer trips, because people are starting to question why big brands are investing so much in often already rich and well-resourced people, while their consumers can barely afford their price point. So, according to Marketing Brew, we may be starting to see a shift in this trend. For example, Coco Kind, instead of flying out a bunch of influencers, the beauty brand invited 7 of their most loyal customers on an unforgettable trip to Napa Valley, and they weren't content creators, they weren't selected because of their follower counts. They just had real love for the brand, and they got to spend quality time with the brand's founder. They got personalized gifts, and in turn, Coco Kind got actionable feedback from a really relevant pool. They saw a 115% increase in engagement across social media and a 136% increase in earned media value. They're already planning to do it again in June. Probably influencer gifting isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but I think more brands are recognizing the value in surprising and delighting your average consumer in a time where a little fun goes a long way. Okay, in some nostalgic news, Napster has been sold to Infinite Reality for $260 $7 billion. Infinite Reality plans to transform the streaming service into a social music platform where artists will be able to connect with fans and monetize their work. Elder millennials and Gen Xers will fondly remember that Napster originally launched in 1999 before becoming infamous for its role in music piracy, which set off a bunch of legal battles in the music industry for years. Napster has shaped the world as we know it, and despite its early shutdown in 2001, the brand did reemerge as a legitimate subscription-based music service, eventually being acquired by Rhapsody in 2011. But now Infinite Reality aims to create virtual 3D spaces where fans can attend concerts, and artists will be able to sell digital and physical merchandise. So it sounds like Napster may just be able to reinvent itself and evolve into the next chapter. And this is your reminder, if you did pirate MP3s off of Napster at Y2K, you may want to hit up The Ordinary for some retinol and eggs, I guess. Instagram has just announced that it will be turning off the content notes feature. This is the ability to add a little note to posts and reels that only your friends can see. And Instagram launched this feature last year, and as we know, nobody adopted it. In a video on Instagram this week, Adam Massaro said, "We know Instagram has become, quote, too complicated over the years, and they want to address that by turning off features that don't work." He said, quote, "Content notes isn't it." Literally, that ain't it, chief. He went on to say that they're going to keep simplifying Instagram wherever they can in an effort to make it more social. But I think the funny part here is that all the comments on this video had almost nothing to do with content notes because nobody cares. Everybody's like, "Hey man, my friends aren't seeing my feed posts, so you told me to make reels," which I did, but then you distribute those to like 300 impressions. So we're all just having the same experience of Instagram right now. We're all just sort of hiding up at the top in the stories where they can't sell you bikinis. But as always, we will keep you posted on Instagram features, come and go what may. And if you're having oatmeal for breakfast today, sorry. Quaker Oats just launched a quirky campaign in the United Kingdom called Deliciously Ugly, and they're featuring deliberately unattractive ads of oatmeal looking lumpy and unappetizing, paired with headlines like Beige AF and Hot Mess and Fugly. This was created by the studio Uncommon, and the campaign embraces the idea of discomfort food, showcasing oatmeal in a raw, untouched manner, because we all know it's delicious. It's just, yeah, beige AF. And this all comes after Quaker Oats' viral moment at London Fashion Week, where they designed a porridge dress made entirely of oatmeal. And even though it was silly, this haute couture really did challenge traditional beauty standards, embracing the unconventional and poking fun at the fashion industry's obsession with pretty. And all of these efforts are doing a really great job at positioning Quaker Oats as real food, authentic, unfiltered, and imperfect. It is finally time for an ad from the past. And today we're traveling back to 1977 with Swift Premium Franks. That's right, a hot dog brand. And today we're looking at a print ad with a suggestion on how to eat this Swift Premium hot dog from the brand. And before I describe to you the hot dog in question, you should know his name. The brand says, "Meet Frankie Doodle Dandy." Quote, "Sitting on a blanket of American cheese, he rides in on a toasted English muffin. He's a Swift Premium Frank. All American, all delicious. He's made with delicious cuts of meat, but not a speck of filler, and all the pizzazz of the 4th of July. In regular or beef." I love this copy. It's fun. It's upbeat. But for me, things really start to turn here when the brand gives us instructions on how to make our very own Frankie Doodle Dandy at home. Okay, according to this print ad, what you're gonna do is take your raw hot dog and you're gonna make 3 incisions. Essentially, you're gonna make 2 flaps on either side near the top of the hot dog so that it has arms. And then you're going to make a long cut from the bottom all the way to the center, which will then become 2 legs. And now, according to the brand, you're going to dip your hot dog in boiling water, at which point, unfortunately, the arms and legs are going to, quote, spread. And now you have a little hot dog man, Frankie Doodle Dandy, and he's busting it wide open on your English muffin. I'm not even going to address the English muffin because it's a subplot. I don't know how to narrate this for people who are only listening. What we have is a hot dog doing the splits with a mustard smiley face. And I don't need that from my glizzy, not even on the 4th of July. And that wraps it up for the Daily Carnage Show. Thanks so much for joining me. As always, I'd love it if you rate our show, like and subscribe across all our socials where you can find us at the Daily Carnage. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our daily newsletter where we're sharing marketing and advertising news every day of the work week. I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend, Carnies.